Before we talk about the new minimum wage, stop and ask yourself 3 questions that cut straight to the heart of our struggle. 1. If the minimum wage rises but your employer refuses to review your pay, what does that reveal about the value they place on your skills, your sweat, your time, your life? 2. Are we ordinary Papua New Guineans ready to demand fair, transparent job evaluations so every worker from Wewak to Wabag, from Kimbe to Kainantu is paid for the real value of their work? 3. And the toughest question of all, how long will low-income earners continue carrying the weight of rising prices, school fees, bus fares, rentals, and basic food costs without employers stepping up? For many families, this is not a policy question. It is a survival question. 50 years after independence, and so many hard-working Papua New Guineans are still living on wages that can barely buy a 10-kilo rice bag, tinned fish, school stationery, and a bit of bus fare. Some earn so little that by Wednesday the pay is already gone. Parents walk long distances to save on PMV fees. Young people hustle betel nut at night just to top up a phone. Mothers buy loose sugar and loose flour, not because they want to, but because it's all they can afford. This is the reality of low-wage earners in PNG. And that is why, according to Rycost MP Honorable Kessy Sawang, the questions around the new minimum wage are more emotional, more urgent, more human than many realize. In this 6-part series, we will look deep into the concern on minimum wage in Papua New Guinea. Part 1. The minimum wage, what it really means. MP Kessy Sawang says that people across the country have been asking how the new minimum wage will affect everyone else earning slightly above it. She explained that the minimum wage is the legal floor, the bottom line. It is the lowest amount any employer is allowed to pay. If your wage is below that level, your employer must lift it. That is the law. It protects cleaners, shop assistants, security guards, cafeteria workers, factory hands, the backbone of our economy. But what about people earning 4 kina above the minimum, 10 kina above, 1 kina above? That is where the confusion begins. Part 2. The fear of wage compression. She says many Papua New Guineans fear wage compression when the lowest paid employees move up to the new minimum, but the ones above them remain the same. Imagine this. A shop packer gets moved to the new minimum wage, but the cashier, the supervisor, the mechanic, the clerk stay at the same pay. Suddenly, the gap between jobs shrinks. People feel stuck. They feel ignored. They feel disrespected. And when life is already expensive, that gap matters. Parents feel it when they can't afford school project fees. Youth feel it when they can't save anything week to week. Workers feel it every time BSP charges fees, every time fuel rises, every time foods get more expensive at the market. This is why wage compression hurts on an emotional level. It doesn't just affect numbers, it affects dignity. Let us continue on to Part 3, different jobs still have value. Part 3. Different jobs still have value. Kessy Sawang's explanation. But Kessy Sawang is clear. The rise in minimum wage does not erase work value. Different jobs still require different skills, responsibilities, qualifications, and experience. In the public service, these are measured through the Hay method, which sets job classifications and salary scales. She explained that this system ensures that a driver, an officer, a manager, and a technical specialist are not placed on the same line, even if the minimum wage rises. But the private sector is different. Now on to Part 4, what government can and cannot control. Part 4, what government can and cannot control. The government, she says, cannot force companies to increase wages above the minimum. It cannot dictate wage gaps. It cannot tell a business how much to pay its cashier, its supervisor, its mechanic, or its HR officer. Government can only enforce the minimum wage. Everything above that depends on the company's HR policy, job evaluation, financial capability, and consultation between employer and employees. MP Sawang says this is why many workers feel stuck, because there is no automatic mechanism compelling companies to shift every salary level upward. But that does not mean nothing can be done. Now on to Part 5, the path forward, protecting PNG workers. Part 5, the path forward, protecting PNG workers. She emphasized that government can do several things. 1. Promote fair wage practices. 2. Encourage structured job evaluations. 3. Support skills development. 4. Use dialogue between workers and employers to manage wage compression responsibly. Her message is simple but strong. The goal is to protect vulnerable workers while ensuring that wage differences remain fair and based on real job value, not on guesswork or outdated policies. Because no worker, in a country celebrating 50 years of independence, should be stuck earning wages that cannot sustain a basic PNG life, not when school fees rise, not when fuel rises, not when rentals rise, not when food prices rise, not when the cost of living keeps climbing faster than salaries. Part 6. A national call. This will go before the Council. Kessy Sawang ended by saying she will place this issue on the agenda of the National Tripartite Consultative Council, the top forum where government, employers, and unions meet. It is there, at that table, that real solutions can be shaped, not just for policy, not just for numbers, but for the everyday life of Papua New Guineans who wake up early, work hard, and still struggle to survive. Because 50 years after independence, our people deserve better than survival wages. They deserve dignity, they deserve fairness, they deserve hope. And this conversation, she says, is only the beginning.